Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to go through page 2. So starting with question 5. There's a large number of cubes in a bag. Jason wants to work out an estimate for the number of cubes in the bag. He takes at random 10 cubes from the bag. He puts a mark on each cube and then puts each cube back. Jason then shakes the bag and takes at random 20 of the cubes. There is a mark on 3 of them. Work out an estimate for the total number of cubes in the bag. So I'm not going to go into great depth about this topic. If you want to learn more about it, go and watch Maths Watch clip number 152 or Google or YouTube search for the Peterson capture-recapture method. Okay. Basically, of the 20 that he took the second time, out of that 20, 3 of them were marked. So 3/20ths were marked. That represents the proportion that those original 10 were out of the entire number of cubes. Okay, so we're saying that those original 10 that we marked out of however many there were in the bag is equivalent to the 3 that we chose the second time out of the 20, the 3 that were marked out of the 20 we re-chose the second time. And this is how this method works. That's not exact. This is our best guess. But we basically need to figure out what we did to 3 to turn it into 10. And you could either use a calculator for that, or you might just know it, or you could go to a different number first. So you might choose to turn that into 30. So maybe timesing by 10 and then dividing by 3. And whatever you do to that top one, do the same to the bottom one. So times by 10, that would give us 200, divided by 3, and that would be 66.6 recurring. Now we can't have that many cubes in a bag, so we round that to the nearest whole number and say 67. Okay. Number 6. There are a total of 300 students in Year 7, Year 8 and Year 9 at Mathsville High School. And we've got that in a table. And we're also told whether they're boys or girls. The head teacher takes a sample of 50 students stratified by year and by gender, which means the 50 students are also split like this into Year 7 boys, girls, Year 8 boys, girls and so on. But obviously the numbers must be lower so that it adds up to 50 in total. However, the proportions have to match the proportions here. So our smallest group out of these 50 should be the Year 8 girls, because they're the smallest group in the original. Work out the number of girls from Year 9 in the head teacher's sample. So the method you want to use here is to find the number in the group we're after. So that's Year 9 girls, so 59. Divide that by the total population, and then we know there are 300 students because it tells us up here. And we times that by the sample size of 50, and that will tell us how many people in our sample need to be Year 9 girls. So 59 divided by 300 times 50, and it's not going to give us a whole amount of girls, so 9.83 recurring. Obviously we can't choose that many girls, so again we round it to the nearest whole number, and that will be 10 girls from Year 9. Here is the number of goals scored by a football team in each of its first 10 games. Write down the mode, so the most common. Okay, so it's looking like 1. Let's just confirm that. There are 4 ones. Yeah. Okay, so the modal number of goals is 1. The median is the middle when they're in order, though. So first we have to order them. I'd suggest crossing them out once you've got them. So I've then got 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. And then onto the 2s, we've got 1, 2 2s, 2 3s, and finally a 4. And the median will be between the 5th and the 6th game. So actually it would be 1.5. So when we've got an even number of data, like we do here, it's between 2 of them. And work out the mean number of goals. So the mean is, you add them all up, divide by how many there are. Okay, so these add up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14, 18. And we've got 10 games. So 18 divided by 10 is 1.8. Okay. In the 11th game, the team scored 4 goals. In the 12th game, the team scored 2 goals. Will the mean number of goals for the 12 games be greater than or less than the mean number of goals for the first 10 games? Okay, there's 2 ways to answer this question. You could just figure out what the new mean is going to be. That might be the easiest thing to do. It's not the quickest way to answer the question, but certainly easier to understand than the second answer I'll tell you about. So if we just work out the new mean, so in other words, if we've got the original total, 18. If we add on the new amount of goals, so add on 2, we get to 20. Add on 4, we got 24 goals. So we've got 24 goals divided by 12 games. So that's 2, which is the new mean. Okay, and that's higher than the other mean. So you can just say therefore greater. And that's fine. You've worked out a new number and you've answered the question by doing it like that. You could also answer this another way though, just simply by saying that because each of these numbers is bigger than the previous mean, if you include a number into a set of data which is bigger than the mean, it will raise the mean. Okay, if you include a number that is lower than the mean, it will lower the mean. And if you include a number which is exactly the same as the old mean, so not that we could score 1.8 goals in a game, but it would keep the mean the same. Okay, so we could also say that the mean will increase because 4 and 2 are both larger or greater than the old mean. Okay, number 8. 5 integers have these properties. So integers, first of all, means whole numbers. Work out what the 5 integers are. Now, I've put these lines in for you. They might not be there in an exam, but I would always recommend putting out 5 little spaces for your numbers. And the next thing I would recommend is starting with the median. You might as well write your answers in order. I mean, why wouldn't you? That's just going to make life a bit harder. So put them in order. The median one we know is going to be the middle, so I know 7 is going to go there. Then look for a mode. It says the mode is going to be 6. So that's the number that occurs the most. Well, seeing as I've already got 1 7, I'm going to need at least 2 6s. And if my numbers are in order, they're going to go there. The next thing I would look at is the range. So the difference between the highest and the lowest is 5. So if I add on 5, that will give me the highest number, which is 11. And then finally, they're going to have a mean of 8. Now, the mean is the total divided by how many there are. And I know there are 5 numbers, and that's going to give me 8. And what I can do using this is work out what that total should be. Something divided by 5 is 8. So that total must be 8 times 5, which is 40. If I add up what I've got here at the moment, I've got 6, 12, 19, plus 11 is 30, so this number must be 10. Okay, the next video will cover the next page.